Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world finally on a day that is not raining at the moment. Just keep it gone, keep it gone. And it's foggy, but not too foggy. But from here we finally get a really good look at the valley down below our home. I think this is just a real nice sight. You can see our farm from here. We got the cypress forest, and then the distant hills with the redwoods growing on them. Anyway, I have just been sort of cleaning up around the house here. I found a fun little place to stash our crystals at the moment. Probably not permanently, but I think it's cute. And in the last episode, we had some trouble with making pies, and I wanted to explore one more pie type with you all. I hadn't gotten to it just yet. But we did just get a big harvest of peanuts, and you can't put peanuts in any kind of stew. So here, if we were to put peanuts... Oh. I guess you can put them in there, but you can't actually cook anything with them, which is a shame, honestly. But then again, I can't recall any kind of stew that I would have peanuts in. Maybe some Thai food, I don't know. But I wanted to find out if we can make a peanut pie. And we're going to find out together. Nope. The answer is no. Absolutely not. So, that being the case, I kind of think I'm going to mostly skip planting peanuts whenever possible, because they're just not a great food source. They're just, you eat them, but they offer no satiation bonus. As soon as you're done eating them, your satiation begins to drop as normal. We're just going to skip those, and I will find something else to do with this pie crust, maybe. No, I won't. So I guess I will just see if we can cook this pie crust and eat it or something, and make some more bread. And we'll call it a day. Anyway, while that's heating up, I wanted to talk about what today's plans are. And today is going to be a very boring episode. So boring. Boring because we're going to bore some holes into the mountain. I want to find out what is down this direction here, and I want to sort of see how far we have to go to poke through. I suspect, looking at the map here, you'll notice that these redwoods are all growing kind of on a middle ledge. They don't really grow on the very top of the mountain, so I suspect that this here is sort of the top of the mountain, and that this is some kind of, like, valley where we have redwoods growing either at the bottom or on the sides of it. So I'm thinking we can probably poke through here and see if there's anything interesting over here, and then maybe sort of take it from there. But I also want to make a staircase down to that ledge down there, because I want to turn that eventually into our farms, and that won't be today, but that is the long-term goal. Our farms will be on this ledge here. And the last thing I want to do is, after talking about it last episode, I think I do want to go ahead and turn this into a spiral staircase. And it's going to go all the way down to the bottom, but I also think it could be cool to send this up a bit, and over time, as we get more and more builds going on, I might have new parts of the house connected via that staircase, maybe like things sticking out up there, or even directly above this house. So, that is the plan for today. I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this baking over here. Hopefully this is hot enough. Hey, it is, just barely. And then we will get started on today's work. Let's get to it. Okay, baking complete, and I learned that you cannot, in fact, bake an empty pie crust. Now, something I want to do is... these corners bother me a little bit. In fact, a lot of this bothers me. Maybe more than a little bit. But I'm also a little conflicted. I don't really want to waste this ebony log in here. But what I'm thinking is this could use some dressing up. Just by getting a hammer. I will forget that forever, won't I? And doing a bit of this to make some trim. But the problem with that is that then it covers up this ebony log, and the ebony log is really only useful then from the outside. So I do want to find out where I can cut this out and just replace it with stone or dirt. then we can get started, because I do want to recover the ebony log, because I think I want to use a lot of it for the staircase. And while we have a bunch of it over here, I don't think it's going to be enough for the whole staircase. So making this go as far as we can is going to be really important. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then once that is all finished, we will start digging straight through here. So I do think I want to figure out how to make this a 2-block wide hallway, and I think doing these two will be the trick. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark these now while I'm thinking about it. Reason being, this will be the outer wall of the staircase, and then we'll have an outer wall or inner wall for the hallway. And I do want to do a 2-block wide hallway, so that should be good. Alright, I'm going to get to it up here, and I'll bring you back when this is all a little bit better defined. And like that, we have all of this now with some crown molding. And it was bothering me to have the logs across here, but then have the purple heart showing here, so I felt it was important. And wow, look at the colors. That sunset just makes the entire world glow, doesn't it? So we now recovered a stack and a half-ish of ebony logs, which is a win in my book. Let's go ahead and get started in cutting our way through stone here. I'm going to go ahead and just do a single 1x2 hallway at first, and then we'll come back through and widen it out and up. And I'm actually reconsidering having strictly a 2-block wide hallway, because that doesn't leave us room to put decorations like bureaus and tables with plants on, so I'm thinking we might want to have a 4-block wide hallway, but where only the central 2 blocks are really walkable, and have like regular arches as you go down the hallway. That way you could then tuck decorations in between the arches and have sort of a very comprehensive look. And the wolves just gave a resounding vote of approval. Well, it seems that we missed our mark here, and I think we have cut, well, I'm looking at the map here, we have cut through the entire mountain range without hitting any of the central areas I thought we would. Although I did hear some growly growls along the way, and constant howling, which is honestly getting a little bit old. I'm going to go ahead and stone this entire walkway back, just because I want to hang on to the torches and not have to replace them every day. And I think I want to kind of cut to the side a bit and see if we can actually cut through to where I'm hearing these wolves from. There was an instance farther back, and I'll show you when we get there, assuming it happens again, I was hearing growls of a wolf that was clearly close enough to be upset with me. We should be getting there. There we go. So if you look where we are on the map, just north of us might be one of those maybe like openings, like a valley here. And I see a bit of water, so it could be a waterfall or a lake. And it sounds like the wolf is, no, like right here, either forward or up or both. So we'll have to deal with them too. May as well just mark you with a torch. We'll do right there. Anyway, let's get to that after I finish stoning this. Okay, so it sounds like right here is where it's coming from. So let's just sort of poke out here a little bit. See if this goes anywhere. If not, I might end up just filling this back in with either some dirt and or some relieved granite. And we may have to just dig upward to get to this area. And I think that's going to be the case here, because look, we are well underneath it and no sign of anything yet. So I think I am just going to, for now at least, just stone it. And I'll just patch that up for now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and widen and heighten this hallway a bit, and then we'll see if that widening reveals anything. and the heightening as well. And then if not, I want to continue probably with the staircase down to there in the morning. So if it is not morning, I'll make it so. Well, that was a mining trip and a half. I have burned through most of this steel pickaxe just in mining out this hallway, and we're not even quite done yet. But we do have this potential exit here, which I really like the idea of, and this could be really handy because a lot of the time when I'm going in this direction, I have to either go way north of the mountain and around, or way south and around, and this would just be a nice place to cut through and have maybe a little sort of, you know, secondary, not necessarily a house, but at least an opening or gatehouse right here with the same kind of rainbow roof. That could be really cool. Now, this hallway itself, safety rail back installed, this area is concerning and strange. There are, I think, wolves somewhere near here. Check out that rabbit corpse there, or raccoon, whatever it was. But this could be something cool as like an end piece, like we could have a little bit of a glass wall here. I guess that'd be called a window. Be able to see out into this little sort of nature grotto, and maybe with the water cascading over the glass. Maybe move that tree so we can see a little farther, but that's an option. That could be something cool to consider. On top of that, farther down here, I did find that this is yet another quartz vein that has a lot of silver in it, and I've already mined a couple pieces. I'm not sure if I have any with me. Nope, I have a couple back in a chest, back in the main room, and I'm going to go ahead and collect all of the blocks that have fallen. Well, here's one. And drag them back to the chest, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do with this hallway. Okay, so this hallway. The hallway isn't super long. Like, I've done worse in other block-based games before. But this is a pretty long hallway for Vintage Story. And so I think what the key is going to be here is to keep it relatively simple. Thank you. And I have a couple ideas for some interesting things I want to do with it. For example, right here, I kind of want to poke through here and have a window into our staircase, or, as I've called it, a glass wall. But I want to be able to see into the staircase here, and that would actually mirror, at this end of the hallway, the sort of nature window over here. And I think that could be really cool. And then on top of that, I think in general, I'm going to basically just keep the same design language as we're using in here, just more compact. So we'll have the kapok slabs for the floor, we'll have it lined with basalt stone bricks, we'll have probably some columns every, I don't know, maybe with 4 spaces between rather than just 2. We'll try to meet them in the middle. I'll see how the block counts work out. But what we could do is, if the block counts end up being really funny down here, I could just sort of have our little gatehouse, you know, edge its way into the rock face a bit to make up for that count, or lack of count. So, let's go ahead and dig out the floor of this, at least the center pieces, and I want to put down the kapok, and I do want to get some more permanent lighting in here, so that we don't have to burn through torches every couple days. Okay, so with the hallway floor laid, at least the wood part of the floor, and well lit, let's move on to our staircase here, because I want to do the staircase down to the future farms during the daytime. So let's get this going on, and let's turn this into an OSHA disaster by removing this rail. There we go. Nice and safe. And I'm going to go and... I guess I don't really need more pickaxe just yet, but I will. This looks like it goes down, so it's going to cut down basically straight through the middle of our ladder there, looks like. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to line the entrance of it. And we'll do that with some of this again. Ebony. And you know what, let's do that. There we go. And then I think we're going to take up this part of the wall. Yes, definitely. And this piece of trim here. It's one of those blocks, okay. And we will bring this down like that. So now we have an actual sort of doorway frame here. And for the stairs themselves, I want to do some more kapok. So we're just going to probably burn all of you. And let's start by clearing out a couple of these here. There we go. And I just want to mark sort of the last stair, which will be right there. I think what I want to do, though, is actually find the real center, which is going to be right here. So it's going to come down just to the left of our ladder, after all. Okay. That is perfect. So let's get down there, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way up with some logs. There we go. Now, something to... Nope, I messed it up. I messed it up. I done goofed. Back down we go. Much better. Okay, so now place our second stair block. Now we do have a decision to make, because we could do a steeper staircase by doing that. So that when we get up to the top of this, we can just turn and sort of continue up. It's a little dicey, but it seems to work. Or we could make these sort of flat landings, which I might do just because I don't like this gap being here, although I will probably just put something underneath it. Let's try it one way, and if we hate it, we can, you know, tear it down, start over. So there's that. That would be me almost dying. And you know what I think we'll do? So I think as we work, we'll just take these down again, and then put them back up when we're done. That might honestly be the best way to go about this. Okay, so now we're here, and let's see how this feels going up. This seems alright. It's not stopping me too much. I think I can do that. And there is the start of our staircase. So, we have the basics in. What we need next is we need to finish the staircase down to the bottom, and hopefully it comes out at a reasonable location. Otherwise, we'll have to just redo the whole thing. So let's get to digging this bit out here. Although I do need to make a meal first, so I'll do that before we begin. But I think we are well on the way to having a solid staircase. It's going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more before it hits the ground. So I do wonder, how far below is that? I don't want this to come out like pointing this way. That would be kind of disappointing. So you know what? We're going to go and measure it. So this needs to come out somewhere around Y125. And we are going to start our next block at 139. That is a difference of, what, 14? So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it should come out straight out this way. That is perfect. Alright. In that case, let's get to it. After I make a meal. Dinner first, build later. And look at that. It comes out perfectly where it needs to be. That I could not have asked for a better coincidence. Let's go ahead and we need to, one, make this safer. And for that reason, I have been firing up some more fire clay bricks so that we can make some more glass, because I think I want to use the half glass slabs in order to make sort of a window everywhere that these stairs don't butt up against the stone. And I think in this case, at least for now, anywhere that the stairs do butt up against the stone, I'm just going to leave the stone. And I might not like it in the long run, but we'll see what we come up with in the future for changes to that. On top of that, something I do want to do is we'll come through and with the staircases upside down, we'll do something like this just to make it look a little bit better from underneath. And we could maybe shave off like a few corners here and there, but I'm not super concerned because I'm not going to be looking up when I walk up the stairs all the time. You know what? I just realized we don't have enough coal because you can't use brown coal in these. Nope. Okay. I guess we're not making more glass right now, but we will. I'll start firing up some more charcoal here in a bit, and we'll get moving on that. But in the meantime, we are going to work on the other supports and the walls, as well as taking care of this junk right here. Okay, now I know this may not be the most opportune time to think about this with the storm approaching here real soon, but I had a thought. And that is, rather than putting more kapok underneath these stairs here, what if we instead put some, put some acacia and sort of gave it this interesting little stripe underneath it, just to give it some more color and some more definition from outside. Let's see how that looks. You know, I could go for a two-tone spiral staircase the whole way up. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I'll get started on that, and then after the temporal storm is over, which might coincide with our charcoal being done, we might be able to get some glass on here really soon. If not, we'll let the glass cook while we start on our second staircase of the day, which would be the one down to the Future Farms. Maybe that should be the name of our home here. Future Farms. AKA, we'll get to it eventually. Okay, storm is over, but our charcoal isn't quite done, but we do have a decent bit of glass already. So I'm thinking, let's go ahead and get started with this. Just turn this all into slabs, and let's go ahead and just start working with some of this. Now, I do want to slab up this right here. And I think what I'm going to do is we are going to slab this over here as well. But I also want to add some visual supports here, as well as if we have this going across like that, and probably in this corner eventually, but not right yet. You know what? We can go ahead and do it, because we'll have our first standout right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, we'll do it like that. So let's go ahead and we'll just make a little incision into the wall here. There we go. And then we'll just make a little bit of cut across here. And so every full revolution I want to have this sort of frame bracing, and we are going to run some wooden supports down the corners of the staircase here. And then we'll fill everything in with the glass. So, I'm going to get to it while the wolf cheers me on, and I'll bring y'all back when I have this staircase ready to roll. What's that? Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come up the stairs behind me. I'm just here about to enjoy the sunrise and the musical number behind me. Why don't you join me? We can watch the sunrise together. And there she comes. Well, the sun is up, which means it's time to get back to work. Let's take a look at our staircase so far. So here is what we have. At this point, we have a little bit of a safety rail here to keep us from dropping off the stairs the wrong direction. We have a couple areas that are paned in already. And like I said, I'm going to leave the areas of rock that sort of butted up against the stairs completely bare. And I kind of think, so I did mention that I want to do sort of distributed storage. I might put a couple odds and ends in these nooks here. Not like a full storage, but maybe, I don't know, a chest with some torches or some arrows and spears. Just sort of things I can grab on my way out if I need them. So we now have a full staircase going down. Oh, and our bamboo's grown too. Some of it, at least. And here is what it will look like, minus the glass, when it's done. I do think we're going to want to do something about this bare stone floor. And I do have a couple ideas for what that will be, but that will be in the future. And I do like the sort of combination of the red from the acacia and then the kapok poking through. I think it's a real nice contrast. Someday I'm going to kill all those wolves, I swear. They're just going to die. They're going to die. That's right. They're always interrupting everything I say. Anyway, I am cooking up one last batch of charcoal, hopefully, for feeding these bloomeries, and then we'll have some more glass for the windows here. But in the meantime, I think we should go ahead and get the right direction going on here. Oh, that's why. I tore this down so I can't get up here anymore. Alright. Well, we can fix that, I guess, if I don't fall off first. Problem solved. I want to get over to here, because right about here... Is this where I want my farms to be? I'm not sure. Let's head back downstairs and take a look. Do you know what? I could almost have it be a little higher. Maybe up along that ridge there. Of course, both couldn't hurt. So let's see. If I have my farms be up here, it's going to be decently high up. Not super high up, but decently high. I am going to need to get rid of this. Can I get across? I can. Look at that. Alright, sorry water. It's been nice knowing you. Now that's still a good deal farther up, though. I didn't want it to be such a long trek up, but I think we can make something work. I do think we can make it work. So let's start by figuring out where our stairwell is going to be. And this is going to be a tricky build because I'm kind of going into it somewhat blind. I mean, we can measure with the, X, Y, and Z coordinates, but I don't want to get too into the weeds there. I just want to sort of pick a spot and go for it. That's kind of how we're doing this whole build anyway. And I also want to pick this tree and chop it down. And we are going to have to do at least a couple of these trees in order to clear out the space we need, but that's later as well. So I think, see, if that's our house, that means that our hallway is basically right there, going that way. And we could, honestly, make a little ladder here. And we'll see how high this is. Ooh, heard that. Wolf doesn't like me being here, that's for sure. Okay, you can, just chill, dude, just chill. Okay, I don't think that wolf has got the cojones to come down here, so we're just gonna keep going on. And if we die, well, we die. So, let's assume that we're going to have our staircase come down right here. And that means that I'm going to sort of carve out this bit right here. Yeah, let's do it like that. So let's come down so that we are at 101.85 and 101.86. And we'll just do a straight 45-degree angle staircase. There we go. Made it down. So it's going to be these two. Okay. So that puts us... Ooh, you know what? Instead of those two specifically, what if we base it on our spacing that we're going to have here? I do think we're going to need to change something about this. This might become our first spacer, and so we'll use more logs here. Let's just sort of mark this a little bit. So if we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was our first spacer, then I think we could actually do that perfectly, honestly. Yeah, look at that. 101.85 and 101.86. I couldn't have asked for a happier accident. Alright, well, let's get our pickaxes out, have a bite to eat, and we should make it down, I think. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow. That came out perfectly. That came out exactly where I wanted it to. Alright. Well, that is exciting. That is super exciting. Let's go ahead and we're going to make this a bit taller. Might even be 2 blocks taller. I think we can stick with 4 blocks tall. That should be fine. Now, I don't want to get too crazy with the outside just yet. But what my plan is, I want to have sort of a long... What's the word I'm looking for? A promenade, I think is the word. And it should follow kind of the contour of the stone, which is mostly straight, but it will curve a little bit. And then the farms themselves will basically be here along the edge where they can catch the morning sun without frying during the hot afternoon rays. I'm a poet! So I think I want to get a little bit of this done, not too much, because this is going to require, well, another pickaxe, or several. And I think I am going to maybe block some of this off just for safety. Keep the spooky things from getting in here. And I am going to go and get us a lantern and get some stairs in here. And I think I'll leave the ceiling for now. It's ugly, but it will do for the moment. So, hey, spare lantern. Neat. And a few stairs. So, lantern. Do not there. Let's do lantern there for now. And stairs. And once again, I had just enough. Okay. It's getting a little weird here. I'll take you guys, and we'll just hook up this floor like that. And now we have access down to where our farms will be. Okay, well, I'm going to get to digging out some of the stone here, and just sort of getting an idea for how our promenade's going to work out here. And I'll bring you all back when I have something to show. Okay, everyone, it is morning of, I think, the next day? Might be the day after. I kind of lost track of time. Too many wolf growls get into my head. But there, you can see from our window, well, our makeshift window, where our farms are going to be. I have a feeling in the next episode we're just going to need to go and deal with those wolves. Because they are getting really, really old. Anyway, this is going to be the start of our farms. It is not the extent of them, because we're going to have just sort of a thin line of them running along here. And I want to have them spaced out, so we'll have like one little patch of 8 here, and then one over here. And I want to come through with maybe some arches or something. And they're going to look sort of like natural stone. I don't want them to be particularly like brick or anything, or too even. So we're going to come back in with some of the granite that we relieved. And believe me, we have a ton of relief granite. And we're going to come in and make some sort of like rough-hewn stone arches here to make this sort of look like it's, I don't know, like an old Stone Age cave that we repurposed. And at some point, I would like to extend our farm a little bit farther out onto that point there, and that way we can sort of overlook all this stuff from right here. I think that would be really cool, and maybe we'll even do something like have an interior support, like a big wide structure that helps keep this whole mountain from falling on our heads. But that will come in a later episode, because we are just about out of time in this one. But first, there is one more thing I want to make an observation about, and that is that our bamboo, let me get down here first and I'll point it out, but our bamboo has sprouted, and something I've noticed is that it does look like the bamboo shoot may have sprouted. I think it was planted right about here, one of these guys. But what I've noticed is that the bamboo actually grows from the bamboo saplings in these stands. So, like this one, sure, it only grew into one, but I planted one over here, and we have 3 bamboo sort of clusters, and then a bunch of shoots. And same for here, we have 2, and this one here grew into 4, 5, 6 sets of bamboo stands, and then a whole bunch of shoots, and same for the sapling that I planted over here earlier. So I think that was the developer's answer. I read about that a while back. That was their answer to bamboo not being particularly easy to propagate, that they have it grow in these big stands. And I think we do have confirmation that the bamboo shoots will sprout. What I'd be curious to see is whether these naturally generated ones also sprout, or if we have to pick them up and move them before they'll sprout. So I'm inclined to kind of just leave these here for maybe a week or so, and see if this gets thicker. If it does, I'm going to have to work fast to chop it down, hopefully, and keep it from getting too crazy up here. But that would be something interesting to find out. Anyway, everyone, that is about all we have time for in this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed the sort of sudden expansion of our little base with the hallway out to the back of the mountain, the staircase, and our new farm area. And I hope you're looking forward to filling out these living areas with many more features, decorations, and all kinds of colors and designs. If you have any AMA questions that I'm going to answer in a video like this one, drop them in a comment with the hashtag 20questions. Support and social links, including the Discord invitation, are in the description. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.